Welcome to Beyond Co-Sell. This is a show where we get into what actually drives success in the AWS ecosystem. No fluff, no partner speak, just honest conversations with the people who've built it, broken it, and figured out what works. I've got a couple of questions for you this week.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
were the topics?
I'm not going to give you the topics. I'm just going to give you the questions.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. So, and this sort of goes back to Pecan, right? And the
Mhm.
conversation we had last week. So, in terms of the Opportunity Quality Score, it went live, what, a few weeks ago? A few days,
Okay.
well, yeah, a couple of weeks. So you've had enough time to go through that
Yeah.
model. What's the difference between the press release version and your experiences? So, for example, where are your scores actually landing?
I
What do
don't
you
think I've
have?
had a score more than 40. So I'll start there. 40 out of
Congratulations.
100.
Well done.
Yeah. Which is probably pretty good.
Yeah.
At 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 30 or 35 out of 40, AWS assigns the account manager.
Oh, so you know that one now. We are
Yeah.
100% sure, right? Okay.
I've done enough of them now that I'm starting to look at the patterns.
Yeah.
Um, but well, here's the thing. They haven't made any drastic changes. So the email notifications that come out do say, hey, congratulations, this qualifies for like co-sell support, you know, Susie Smith is assigned as the rep, she'll reach out to you,
Yeah.
right? Or they will reach out to you. You and I both know they don't reach out, but that's what the emails say. So now what I'm also realizing is if you get I've had a bunch of, I think I had a 0, but I think 5 is about the right score for like really bad stuff.
Yeah.
So if you get a 5, it more or less says you've been assigned to an agent. I've also seen some that say that you can, reply or resubmit with more information, like answer these kind of questions to make the quality better,
Mhm.
and you can reply and answer the questions or give more data about the opportunity in the framing of the customer, that what drives the AWS revenue, which is really what they want to hear anyway.
Yeah.
And if you do that, then it rescores and it could, pump your number up. However, I think I said this yesterday to someone. The truth is, like, regardless of the score, the back end still works the exact same way. So they haven't really gated or changed the back end behavior of co-sell, even though the whole decision engine, front end validation process and scoring has all changed, which, fortunately, Pecan has, I would hope, a great relationship with AWS. And so we get a bunch of speakers. So we had the entire product and development team on to talk to us about all of that stuff that designed it, and PRMs and everything, and then actually or PRFAQs, right? That's AWS's term for how they write like product requirements. And then obviously the one of the lead engineers was on and just talked about how all that stuff works. So yeah, I think it's interesting. It's a great, you and I have been talking and playing around with AI a little bit. I think it's a great, not perfect, but it's a great way to take in all of this data from all of these partners and put it through a scoring algorithm that says this is good and this is not good. I'm fine with it. I understand. I'll
So,
still cheat or use it. I think differently. I will figure out how to manipulate the scoring and the models, and this stuff is all games to me. So it's like, oh, cool, new game. I haven't played this one before. Let me go play with it. So that's how I see things.
so,
Right.
so in terms of the algorithm, is there any one thing that you've got actually gone back and consistently changed because it was frustrating? You just kept on getting,
No,
negative scores or anything. There's no the thing you saw.
no, I know that I mean, this is always the case. When you send over a ACE registration with a generic business description, you get if it hits machine or human eyes, you're more likely to not to get it rejected, to request more information. It was never really that good if you just say, oh, Kong does this and this is what we do and this is, it's like so generic. It still passed through the system, but if I'm a rep at AWS and I see that come in, or a PSM and I see that come in, and I have 200, different registrations from all these different companies for pipeline and renewals and this, and they're all asking for, hey, let's set up some time to talk. And you're reading that. Well, why would you prioritize that over anything else?
Yeah.
Maybe, oh, I know Kong, I know Snowflake, I know CrowdStrike. Okay, cool. Maybe I might do that because of the people, right? But I wouldn't. Why would I prioritize? That's generic. That tells me nothing. So I've shared this with other people. If if you've been doing this for years, there was always a pattern of what AWS wanted to hear from you
Yeah.
about your opportunity. So like the smart people always figured out, like it was not easy, but we always tried to figure out, well, if I'm going to register this and I can kind of answer, I don't know, 80% of what they're going to ask me, then I kind of bypass the registration. I bypass, like, should we invest any time to talk to you? And you're more likely to just kind of move through the process.
Hmm.
The other piece of it, I've been doing this for years, and I've co-sold probably, if not hundreds, thousand. I mean, at our peak at Lacework, we were probably registering almost 3,000, like no, sorry, 2,400 co-sales a year.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, like, I've been on a lot of co-sell calls with a lot of PSMs and reps, and then I've been on a lot of team calls and QBRs like over the years. So now, and with PCAN and social and this thing, like a lot of people know my name, even if I don't know them or they've heard of me or this name is familiar. And if they're not thinking of my brother from another Mark Musselman, right? They're thinking about like, there's that just like my name is unique and different. So I promise you now, I when I ace reg, like my name's in the emails too,
Yeah.
because I will have a lot of people that just remember me from Lacework or like they'll remember me and they're like, oh, I know he understands us and this thing. So I promise after doing this for so long, trying to answer the things that they're first thinking about, and then even just my own reputation, it bypasses some of the gates that others who are just getting started might have to deal with.
Yeah.
This is why, like, when me or my team's on a co-sell call, that call is going to go 100% better than if we weren't, just because uh, same thing. It's like I can meet a rep. Oh, we haven't met before. This is where we worked, or my team or RM. So it's like, oh, I was a PDM. I used to manage this before I came to call. Like very straightforward. And that rep might just say, oh, I'm in this account sec. I always ask, where are you in the org? Because I'm trying to figure out where they are.
But I
Right.
guess with this, and we spoke about this last time, with this agentic layer, the machine doesn't necessarily differentiate, and it should identify, the the people that have been around the block. So, are you part of the pecan community?
But
Are
it
you?
can. Remember, all these models, all this token, there are different dimensions in there. So you're right. Oh, man, I can't do this trick anymore. But once upon a time, these are all secrets, right? Once upon a time with Ace, when there was humans, I figured out who the humans were. I got in front of that whole team and I just explained, hey, we get it. We know how to do this. All of my registrations were like almost rubber stamped because the humans were like, oh, yeah, we already know Lacework and Mike and like, oh, we're good. Well, you can't trick that anymore. But I'm sure if Kong does 100,000, 2,000, like, and these qualify, they could evaluate each one, but they could, you're right, start, oh, this company's in this segment or has this competency or this gold star, like our own profile and all of that other stuff, you're right, could help prioritize or score rank our ACE registrations as a good partner or a leaned in partner or a, yeah, of course.
Because I get a lot of my work from the AWS teams, right? A lot of the
Of course.
AWS teams will actually refer me, and I
Of
think that
course.
that's the next layer. In terms of just what you're seeing, just coming back to the original question, you're seeing on a day-to-day basis, and we talk about automation so much, but how much manual work are you doing actually adjusting that information right now?
Well, they broke everything. So I did tell the team, they were so excited. And I was like, well, we broke all my automation, but it
Yeah.
took me a couple hours. I fixed it all.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
managed to fix it.
I had to
Actually,
change some stuff. And then, yeah, again, like there's some things that you do in your profession and things that I do in my profession. I just it's like that's the secret sauce. I'm not going to tell you what's in, you know, Heinz 57 ketchup. Like that's part of the secret of Heinz 57 ketchup, right?
So I've got another question for you as well. And it's just coming back to something you said in May, right? Because we were talking about your AU planning. And you were sort of saying at the time you've been sitting on something, you were talking about the strategy that was right, but you need to show the right workings to the right people to actually get it to believe it. So I think you had the data in terms of 35% co-sell attachment, 1.5 times win
You're
rate,
writing this stuff down.
300K in avoided headcount, lead
Yeah.
enrichment baked into your model. I'm not going to say which model you're using. And now you're heading into H2, and you're going to ask for resources, I presume. I know we talked about this a bit.
I did yesterday.
Okay,
It's
this
a
is
good
great.
timing.
So this is going to be perfect. So what actual document, if you can reveal it, dashboard or slide, were you walking into that conversation with? So not necessarily the numbers. What are the things that you hand? I guess it's your CRO you report to, right?
Yeah,
So
but I did it to I engaged with my boss and my CRO is who I'm speaking to.
yeah,
But I even explained this in everything. My CRO is my customer. So again, we were talking about Amazon or customers and working back. Like I like I like where I live in the org because part of what we do isn't purely nail and hammer co-sell. There's a lot of other strategy, co-build, marketing. There's all kinds of other things.
operations.
But make no mistake, my CRO is my customer. So if I'm not making my customer and the sales team successful, then I'm probably not doing a good job. I'm not building the right business.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe that's not where the money or the headcount, but flip that, we talk about medic and sales process, like that has to be my champion too. Like
Yeah.
I would need their sponsorship. I agree, this is great. You need more, you need what you need. Like that has to be the dynamic that happens, you know. And it doesn't mean I'm going to get everything that I want, but I think that, there's like minimum standards and then there's this. But I'm 8 months in. So I've also learned maybe it's 6 to 8 months, which is right about the time that you and I were talking when you said May. It
Yeah.
it takes a little bit of time to feel the company, feel the market, feel the product, feel the competition, feel the partners you're working with. Everything is it takes a little bit of time to understand all that stuff. And I've usually found that it's probably 9 months to a year where then you're like, okay, I see the forest through the trees. I know kind of what I need, and I can't promise you what results, right? How many apples are going to come from the tree, our apple analogy, but I can see, yeah, we'll get there. But perfect example, the apple will grow with water alone, sunlight, water, it grows, you get apples maybe 3 years. But if you're saying bring that value forward, then you're like, okay, I might need a more controlled environment. I might need the right nutrients. I might need the right stuff. And so even that analogy applies to what we do. So I'm just saying, like, we'll get there. I see it perfect, but it might take longer. So if the goal is to go faster or compress that time, then I'm going to need more hands, more people, more nutrients, more fertilizer. I'm going to need all of those things to make sure that the results are, that value results are faster or there.
So when you walked into, you said you did it yesterday when you were engaging
Thing
with.
is, I actually, it's funny, whenever I say I'm not good and I don't like doing ops, it turns out I'm really freaking good at it. And when I also say I don't like writing, I did it all as a written. It's probably like in Amazonian, I wrote a 6-pager.
Oh wow.
It's a whole written narrative. Now, what I intended to do was set up a call and have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then timing, getting on my CRO's calendar, all like he's like, just write me out or put something together and let's go back and forth there. So actually I kind of appreciated that. And if nothing else, I don't know if we don't talk about Amazon or AWS that much, but like they have a really, now it's all AI. There's a lot of AI written, right? Or
Oh yeah.
started, but
Yeah.
they've always had a written culture. And there is something difficult about structuring your thoughts and writing and reading and completeness of vision and the structure of writing a 6-pager or just, putting any of your thoughts on paper. I mean, you wrote a book. That ain't like it's
It's
hard.
painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is something, I don't like AI doing that stuff. Actually, some of the docs I write, I need to start writing that this was what wasn't written by AI, but I know that you can read the slop running around the company.
Yep.
So I don't do that. I still think it can't form my words and my thoughts if I ship it out to someone else. It'd be like if you were going to write your book and then you paid a ghostwriter to write it. It's never going to sound like you.
That's true.
So you kind of have to do this. So I did. And the nice part was he read it, every line, and commented. And then I came back with the comments and then we had a conversation, which I actually think was like a really healthy exercise. And it's probably, Amazon does that pre-reads, writing the first 10 minutes or whatever, read, write notes. And then like, I think that's good. But it was pretty much like what I'm seeing in metrics and how Amazon is looking at us or AWS is looking at us, how we should be looking at how this helps us, like two directions. Because the metrics they hold us accountable to, which we've talked about, and the metrics that I think we should measure, these are two different sets of metrics.
Are you using Quick?
No. I'm not.
Yeah.
But I watch how they use it. And if I worked at AWS, man, Quick is freaking awesome. Because just like whatever you use inside your own company that's connected to all your knowledge repositories, Glean, Gemini, Claude, whatever it is, there's your company knowledge repositories. Can you imagine having, 20 pages, 100, you're Quick connected to 100 different knowledge repositories at AWS, and then synthesizing all that data and bringing it to you to answer a question that you have. So it's powerful. But if you took Quick and you just put it in your company, it's like it's not connected to the 100 data sources. I have to go wire it to all that stuff. And I don't know what I won't even get into. I don't know what model it's using. It's not,
Yeah.
For AWS, that makes perfect sense. For the same reason we all used Chime for years and years. I was like, oh, Chime was pretty cool for some use cases, but for them, perfect, makes perfect sense. But for me, no, the rest of the world used, Zoom, WebEx, like everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
So I think that's what it is. But there are a lot of people using it. They're encouraging a lot of partners to use it and sell it to their customers and all that stuff. I understand all that.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much again, as always.
Have a great week.
Yeah, you too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, bye.